questions.
Yeah, exciting time of year for us. Obviously, our purple and orange scrimmage today, I felt went really well. Just a terrific crowd. I mean, it's feel like temperature's about 45, and our fans showed up to support us today, and that's special. Not a lot of programs get 1,000 people out to watch them do a preseason scrimmage, so very fortunate to have our fan base and people that support us, and then the game itself. I thought our team came out and executed the first couple innings really well offensively. Our pitching pitched out of a few jams, some bright spots there. Of course, our hitters have a little bit of advantage. They've seen our pitchers for the last 4 weeks, and some of them for the last 2 or 3 years. So hitters definitely a little bit more advantage today. But I love the way our team competed. A few mistakes that we need to clean up a little bit before we open up next week. But just a super exciting time of year for us. Really love our team, the camaraderie, the cohesiveness that they've shown in the preseason has been special, and I got a lot of talent. Looking forward to a great start to the season.
What is the biggest difference for people to see between this team and what maybe we've seen the past year or two?
Well, I think experience. Everybody's a year older, and we've got some great new additions, some freshmen that are really doing well, and a couple of transfers, grad transfer, Lindsey Garcia from Auburn, and then Alex Brown, shortstop, third baseman from North Carolina. So they're helping us fill a few holes with the graduation of Caroline Jacobson and Allie Miklish last year. And our pitching staff is the same. We've added a freshman, Olivia Duncan, but everybody's returned, and pitchers are doing really well. And I think from an offensive standpoint, we got power up and down the lineup. We got a little bit more speed, I think, through the lineup this year. And defensively is something that we're continuing to work on, and we got to get a little bit better. But I like the way we play defense as well.
John, Mackenzie's got left off the All-ACC preseason team. How has that affected her? I can only imagine the motivation that gives her.
Yeah, it definitely gives her motivation. I think, preseason team is the coach's vote. Obviously, we can't vote for our own players, but, a lot of it is batting averages from last year and RBIs. Mackenzie brings so much more than that. As her coach, you see the plays that she makes defensively, the assists that she makes in the outfield throwing, and she's a spectacular five-tool player for us, and hopefully she uses that as some motivation this year to prove some people wrong.
I've already mentioned Olivia, but with her, who are some of the other freshmen that we could see?
Yeah, Julia Noller played first today. Big bat for us, and she's had some big hits for us this fall. Kylie Johnson's another freshman. She was in the outfield today. Dynamic player, good speed, good power. And then Duncan, of course, and a few more. Kennedy Ariel's an outfielder that could see some playing time. Riley Burton, a catcher, third baseman. So got a lot of freshmen, and they're being freshmen right now, so we're breaking them in, but looking forward to seeing how they grow and develop.
Haley Whitesides as well had the home run, freshman upstate. Kind of what have you seen from her?
Yeah, Haley is just a hard worker. She's developed every year she's been in our program. She started as a pitcher utility, and now she's primarily an infielder, but really put chills up everybody's back today to watch her hit that home run. She's such a hard worker and big part of our team, and so that was special for her. But she's a great option, as a hitter and as an infielder for us.
Knowing that you guys want to finally break through this year and get to the World Series, having the veteran experience that you have with Millie, Valerie, Mackenzie, Aaliyah, all these players with so much experience, how does that help you guys as you look to reach your ultimate goal?
Yeah, to have a pitching staff like we have, it's pretty special. They all complement each other well, different types of pitchers, different velocities. They hit their spots really well, change speeds really well. They work really hard on their defense, so they field their positions really well. But as a coach, it gives us the ability to give teams different looks. Certainly there are games where we may pitch by committee this year a little bit, where we have a starter, a middle reliever, and a closer, very similar to baseball, which is you don't do that a lot in fast pitch softball, but that's certainly an option for us this year. But our pitching staff complements each other really well. They're all really hard workers, great teammates, and looking for big things out of our pitching staff again this year.
Valerie Cagle was named #1 player in the country by Softball America. How is she able to keep that in perspective and not let that become too big? I mean, it seems like she doesn't really care about set expectations.
Yeah, Valerie's she's a little bit of a different cat, and certainly, to be honored with the National Player of the Year is something special. And I'm certain she has some expectations going in, this year, and how she copes with that is a work in progress, but she's just such a consistent player, whether it's pitching, hitting for power, fielding, playing first base. There's no question that she's a generational type talent, and as a coach and as her teammates, it's really fun to watch her play every day. But I think the biggest thing Valerie has to do is really understand that last year's over and this is a whole new year, and everybody starts 0-0, and just go out and enjoy her last year playing college softball and compete the best of her ability, and that's all we can ask of her, and I think that's all she can ask of herself.
I guess, are there any ways you feel like she can improve? Like, how do you coach the best player?
Well, after last year, I think there's certainly some areas, defensively, it's she's just such a talent, and it's hard kind of going between pitching and first base, but I think she can improve a little bit there. Obviously, offensively, she put up great numbers last year. But you're always going to strive to get better, and maybe not be so hard on herself when she doesn't have success, and be able to release some of her failures and refocus and reload real quick. But other than that, she's just such a terrific talent, and she's such a hard worker that she's going to just get better by the fact that she's in the 5th year. She's more mature. She's been through almost every situation you can be in, except getting over that last hump, getting to the World Series.
How do you guys not pressurize that in terms of getting to that?
Well, I think obviously it's standing there in front of us. We have kind of a mantra this year that we're going to knock down the door, and you can't hide from it. So we understand that this is a game that you got to face reality sometimes, and as such a young program, we've been so close. We've been to super regionals the last 2 years that it is our goal, and we talk about it, we prepare for it, and we expect to be there, and that's a little bit different than maybe last year or 2 years ago, where we're hoping to be there. Now it's an expectation, and it's reality. We're facing it head on, and that's where we want to go.
As a coach, when you watch Valerie play, do you sometimes forget in the moment that you got a Valerie playing for you, and you're just kind of going through the motions of coaching and trying to manage the game, those kind of things? And maybe when you sit back, you think about, man, she's really special. I've enjoyed watching her all these years.
Oh, no doubt. As a coach, you sometimes become a fan. Today, her last at bat, game tied, purple and orange scrimmage, but still it's a tie game. She comes up and hits the go-ahead home run. So I've seen that plenty of times in her career, so nothing ever surprises me. But yeah, there's a lot of times where I become a fan and actually just enjoy watching her play and compete, and that will never get old. I'm so happy that she's a Clemson Tiger, and obviously she'll be in the record books forever, but we're going to enjoy watching her play one more year, and hopefully we can all reach our final goal and get to that World Series and win a championship.
Coach, last year she kind of struggled late in games on the mound, giving up some runs. How much you contributed that to her rehabbing from the shoulder surgery versus her just relaxing and just enjoying the moment?
Yeah, I think, it's a long season. I think she's a little tired last year. I don't think it had anything to do with the injury. I think we were facing some very good teams on the road, with Liberty and Virginia Tech, and then, facing Auburn here in a tough game, and pulling out game 2 of the regional to send us to the super regional, and then facing Oklahoma last year. I thought, hitters are prepared. There's a lot of information, a lot of video out there, so hitters, prepare for us, and during late part of the season, it's almost like you have to reinvent yourself a little bit, and I think she's learned from that. Coach Jameson does a great job with our pitching staff, and you kind of live through these games and moments in time, and you get better and learn from your experiences. And that's, hopefully what we're going to do this year, and hopefully Valerie continues to work on that for the stretch run this year as well.
Coach, what are some of the biggest messages that you take from the Super Regional in order to break down the door or kick in the door this year?
I think the biggest thing is, that time of year you have to play free. You can't play with a bunch of weight on your shoulders and expectations. You go out and play the game. You've prepared yourself. There's a reason you're in that game. It's because you've worked and earned a spot in the Super Regional. And so as a coach, you want your team to go out, like I said, play free and play relaxed and compete and have a fun time.
Leah was telling us about Alex and Lindsay, and they're completely opposite personalities with their roommates. I guess what have they brought as teammates and also as players to this program?
Yeah, well, first they're very high character kids, and their work ethic. They work extremely hard, both in the weight room, in the classroom, and on the field, and that's somewhere or something that in the transfer portal we've really looked at. Not only how a player can help us on the field, but what type of people they are, and are they good students? They have high character, like I mentioned, and certainly Lindsay and Alex bring all of those characteristics with them, and they're just fun to coach. They're really good softball players. They're experienced, both a little different, personality-wise and softball-wise, but they've added a huge dynamic to our team and really going to help us this year.
Is Lindsay kind of an energy person, or kind of like what does she bring to
Yeah, I mean, energies are, it's something we ask all our players to bring, but Lindsay definitely has, a personality where she's more outgoing, and Alex is more reserved and, a little bit more quiet. So, yeah, a little bit of different personalities there.
Coach, can you elaborate a little bit on the challenges opening up in Clearwater, the group you're going to be playing against, and then moving on to Mexico?
Yeah, certainly we've got a tough schedule opening the season. I think 11 of our first 13 games are against postseason teams last year. So that's a challenge for us, and we're looking forward to that. Florida, first games of the year is always exciting, and you're prepping, really all January for the first week of the season. So we know who we're going to play. We've got plenty of scouting reports on them, and just really excited to get out and compete against another team.
Any other questions for Coach?
Hey, thank you all